Hey guys, Matt's back, and this is my last video. If you saw the edit I made on the blog post, you'll know episode 6 will not be coming out, unfortunately. Comcast decided to be real bad with my internet overnight, and it got stuck, and then it just stopped. And I'm not sure why. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough space on my phone to actually finish uploading, and what's even worse is that for some reason it didn't save back onto my computer, so it's just gone, and I'm sorry about that, but there's only so much you can do about it. And well, in the post I just kind of wrote down what happened. In case you didn't read the whole thing, all I did was cut out some things and get some clearance issues resolved, and coated it in nail polish so that it wouldn't short out. And then I cleaned up the SATA connectors that I tore apart. And in case you're wondering what we're doing right now, it's just I just have this going so that I have something to look at while I just talk here. But this here video will serve as kind of the final reflection. I can't actually record directly on my computer right now because it is sitting away from my desk in many pieces because I had to bring it back from the Capstone Fair, and to do that I had to take it apart because it is very heavy. So unfortunately you will have to deal with this for now, but that's okay, and this here will just kind of be my final reflection. So the most important thing that I learned throughout this experience is that you can't always expect something to work the first time. I mostly just had a lot of fun building the drive itself, or taking it apart, figuring stuff out. And I guess another important thing I would have learned is that you can't just have USB straight into SATA if it's two different protocols, because that's what happened. If I may not have explained this, but the reason why Plan 1 didn't work is because the USB SATA had USB 2, and the SATA, or the USB floppy drive had SATA, or had USB 2, and the USB SATA had USB 3. And while those are normally cross-compatible, I guess with floppy drive, or with the floppy protocol, it just isn't, much like how it's not with the IDE and SATA with floppy drives. So that's why that didn't, unless I was just doing something wrong, but I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I just moved right into Plan B, which, as you know, was to which was to just put an SSD in it. But most important thing I learned, I guess, is save all of your data before you start uploading it if you've got questionable internet, which has nothing to do with this project, but yeah. But I mean, it's still a good lesson to learn, and I suppose knowing that floppy drives will never be compatible with SATA is also a pretty important lesson. Well, not really important, it's just like probably the point of what I did. So throughout this experience, I think I've grown in like managing my time, because a lot of these episodes were like really weirdly timed. Like this episode 1 here was like, how long is this? This was a half-hour long episode, and if you watch the whole thing, I applaud you on that. Then like next episode is only 10 minutes long, and then episode 3 is 15 minutes long, and then another half-hour episode for episode 4, and episode 5 is 45 minutes long. But just like the way the time was structured that I had to do, or the way I had to figure out how to use my time, I think is how I've grown the best. Because for the first week, I didn't have a lot of time to do stuff. I was working, there were house showings. I wasn't able to be at home a lot, and I had to work on my research projects some more before this fair. And that was super busy, and I didn't have a lot of time to do anything. And then this week, I had to kick it up a notch, so I did everything this week. And just learning how to budget, I guess that's also an important lesson. But learning how to budget my time, I think, is a way I've grown. Um, which kind of speaks for itself. Uh, Using what I've learned in the real world. Obviously, the floppy drive thing isn't very applicable because, like, it's a floppy drive. People don't use those anymore normally. I just did it for fun because it's a cool thing. It's a cool mod that I think some people would enjoy. And hopefully in the future my videos get a few more views and I can be proven in that. And yeah, like as I'm mentioning in the video right here, it said it's USB 3, and I said it should be, but that's besides the point. The floppy drive thing, that's not very applicable. Just I can keep that in mind for future mods I might want to do to a floppy drive. Unless I was doing something wrong, in which case I can also use that, see what I did wrong. With the time budgeting thing, that has a lot of potential. I can do many, many things with just being able to budget time better. Because I am historically not great at budgeting. Oh, shoot. I am historically not great at budgeting my time, so learning a bit on how to do that is usually a pretty good thing. And then what comes next? I think I will continue modding things. Not necessarily floppy drives unless the need comes up again. Someone actually in the future wants me to do a full USB to SATA real floppy drive thing. Because like I've got a stack of floppy drives over here that I didn't use at all because I only got that many just because in case I messed something up with the first one. And you could say that I did, it's just I didn't have enough time to wait for glue to dry. But I digress. What comes next is that I'll keep modifying things. I have more plans like in the future for my case, like my big computer desktop. If you went to the fair, you saw it. If I remember, I'll include a picture of it. It's pretty massive. And I've always wanted to do mods to that case. Not necessarily that case, I guess, but like I've always wanted to make my own crazy looking computer case that's just super off the wall and super cool looking because like it just looks freaking cool, and that's the same reason why I made the floppy drive. It just looks really neat to me. Anyways. So that's what comes next. It's just sorry, it's kind of late. That's what comes next. Just keep modding stuff, keep showing you guys how to do that. Maybe in the future I can mod something to do something actually useful. Like I can show you guys how to switch the well, no, I guess that's not really a mod. That's just kind of a thing, but I can show you guys on YouTube at least whether or not you can do stuff with hard drives, like swapping out the platters or whatnot, or looking deeper into how floppy drives work on the chemical and mechanical level, and seeing if there's any possible way you can make that energy or that more dense. It's just I knew I wouldn't have time to do that in 2 weeks, especially when one of those weeks was so busy for me. And actually, as I'm going back through these videos, I noticed that they are, I don't know if it's just my screen or what, but that is some really, really bad quality. So I just want to, kind of late to the party, apologize for that. But yeah, again, I'm sorry that episode 6 wasn't able to come out. Maybe eventually I'll put a video up showing that it actually does work. But for now, My computer is in pieces, and I'm moving, so I don't have enough time to put it back together. I don't have the time to A, put it back together just to record me putting a floppy drive into the disk, or putting a floppy disk into the drive, showing that it works, and then taking it all down again, because we're moving soon, and that's just a hassle. Perhaps when I'm done, I'll post one last video showing, hey, see, it actually works. Aha, I told you so. But, anyways, that's about all for now. So if I sound kind of somber, it's pretty late tonight. I had a lot to do. But, I digress. Thank you, everyone who followed me through this journey, and anyone in the future who, for some reason, comes back on these videos. I don't know why you would do that, but if you did, or if you didn't, thank you for following me along. If you want to try your hand at this at home, go ahead. You can see why it didn't work for me, for whatever reason. With the plan 1, that is. Oh man, it is late. I gotta get to bed. So, I'll see you all eventually, I guess. I don't know. I also upload, or I will be uploading, gaming videos on this channel if you want to check the first one out. It's old and it's kind of stupid, but I love that game. But this happens so many times. This happened in all the videos now. This is like the second or third time I've said, okay, well, thank you. But actually this time, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.